24%. That is the abysmal level of support left for the main Conservative political party coalition in Australia, the Liberal National Parties, according to the latest Newspoll. People are fleeing to more conservative alternatives like One Nation and Jared Rennick's People's First Party, and the Libertarians are gaining support too a little bit. But not everyone wants to abandon the old parties. Some want to stay and fight. Two prominent Liberal National Party elders in Queensland have decided to start their own movement, the Liberal Reform Association. Their website is at reclaimthedream.com.au. The three founding directors join me today in the Other Side studio. Graham Haycroft is one of the directors of this new association. He's the founder of Red Unions, the alternative non-left-wing professional associations. Heath Goddard is perhaps a little less well-known, but he's one of Australia's most successful and largest retail entrepreneurs, the founder of the huge National Pillow Talk chain of stores and online retail businesses. And Heath and Graham are both long-time LNP members, have been big supporters of the party over the years. They've joined forces with a younger entrepreneur, the founder of a governance software business for non-profit organisations called Process PA, Matthew Rowan. Matt, welcome. And altogether, they are the directors of this new Liberal Reform Association. Heath, I'll start with you this time. Lots of people who write comments on this show's platform say the Liberal and National parties are now finished, right? I've given up on them. I'm not going there. They've been captured by the centre-left. They've been captured by a few power brokers and money men and women, and they're even actively trying to keep out Conservatives. Is that how you see it at the moment and you want to fix?
Well, I think that's self-evident at the moment, but I don't happen to hold the view that it can't be rescued. You know, it's something that Graham and I have thought about for a little while, and we can all walk away, and I always say if everyone does nothing, nothing will change. But I think it's important that we do something. We give people the hope that they can have an opportunity in life. And I do hear this fairly regularly with the younger people. There's no hope. Well, that's a pretty sad thing in a nation that's got everything going for it. And we've got a Conservative party that doesn't have the courage to stand up and put the alternative views and the facts. There's a lot of facts out there that are not shown. And I think if people were appraised of the facts that I'm going to use the word, how badly they've been lied to, and not shown the leadership, and that goes back to I'm going to use the old tired word, mainstream media, the governing politicians, and all of these things feed into a feeling of hopelessness with young people. Well, I'd like to see, along with Graham, set up something with everyone around this table that we can do something and we can get people back into the mainstream of life and give them the opportunity to do something about it. But they've got to want to do it. You've
set up one of the country's biggest businesses from scratch by yourself over the years.
No, I must correct you on that. When we started, there was a much smarter man than I. Hence, we've succeeded. Okay. But I have I've carried the flag.
Sure have.
I've carried the flag for the last 30 or 40 years. Yeah.
Well, it's grown enormously. And what is? I mean, I get a feeling that people don't want to. I'm hearing from people my age in their 50s saying they don't want to start businesses. They look at the red tape, they look at the employment, the employment laws, and they just don't want to play. They're walking away.
Well, it'd be lovely if we had an alternative bunch of politicians that would take a lot of that, and I'm going to use the word rubbish, away that constricts people from being in business, from having a go, from succeeding. And it's a fair question to note that what's out there that you're fighting against. And I said to someone only actually it was an Uber driver, and he said, I want to start my own business. And he said, what can you recommend? And I said, not much, perhaps a tradie. I said, but the amount of oppressiveness of government, bureaucracy and everything else will wear you down. The banking industry won't support you because you don't have collateral, etc., etc. Well, the poor bloke is really feeling frustrated, but he wants to have a go. He's about 27 years old. That's
the LNP don't support small and medium-sized business like they used to. They're captured by the big corporations,
they should be support. Well, the whole thing. You go. I came from the bush, and I came from a cattle station. In those days, the property owner knew his bank manager personally. Try and ring your bank and see how well you go today. Good luck.
Yeah, we can't even get through to a person.
Everything we've got, I think, is wrong. And someone said, I think it was my daughter said, Dad, they're writing very bad things about you. I said, well, that's not unusual. But that's fine. At least we're going to have a go at saying to people, join us in droves, and we can start to change because we know what's wrong, we know who's causing what's wrong, and we want to fix it.
Yeah.
And we'll give it our best shot.
Matt, some people say, look, just go to One Nation, go to the Libertarians, go to Jared Rennick's party, stuff the Liberal National Party. They just need to implode and die in a pile of rubble. You hear that from young people, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
I hear it a lot. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a really sensible message, it seems, right? Like, why not? They've been ignored for so long. At least Pauline and Rennick are talking about the issues that are affecting those people. But I see two main issues with those parties still. One Nation has been going for a long time and they haven't made the impact that they promised all the way through. And more so is they don't have that engagement at members to make a difference to the party. And so it is as good as Pauline has been and hits on the right things, it is the cult of personality type party.
Yeah.
And so it's built on that. She's made a good move to remove
Seems to be
her
the main
name.
criticism of Pauline. I mean, she's
Yeah.
done a great job, but she's like still the centre of the universe and hasn't grown an organisation that's got
Exactly.
that very democratised membership thing going on. And that's what you're trying to do here
Yeah.
with this, is to really, and you're using technology. I mean, your contribution is the technology side of it because you developed that software
Yep.
for non-profit organisations where you build the sort of democratising on using
Governance,
Yep.
getting transparency and everyone aware of what's going on, right? And clear information. And so, but then you go people first. And Rennick is trying to set up all those structures with his branches.
He
and
is,
whatnot.
yes. Yeah,
and
but
so that's great. But you're going to
so hard.
It's hard. It's new. And so what does the LNP have? Well, they've already got all that infrastructure and systems, and they have the ability to form government. I don't think One Nation or People First do anytime soon, unfortunately. And so there are problems with the Liberal Party, obviously, which we want to fix, but with the small tweaks and the system that's already there, I think that can make a difference. And then on the aspect of to access to media, is Pauline is immediately dismissed as right-wing nut job or whatever by so many people, and that's been pushed since I was a kid. It's like, that's crazy Pauline, until you actually listen to what she says, but that's the messaging that's always around her.
Yes, she's got that image, that hangover
so it's
of
just
that old...
totally ignored, and so is Rennick now. So they don't get the in-access to the mainstream as such, whereas the Liberal Party does still, at least.
Yeah.
So those organisations and systems is what we think gives it the advantage. We just need more participation.
Graham, one of the things you want to look at is the incentives, right? I mean, politicians are not incentivized the right way now. And of course, as we all know from business, if you don't set the incentives up right, you don't get the right responses and reactions and people acting the way that they should. Just quickly, if you can, tell us what the essence of that is that you're trying to fix.
This may come as a surprise, but politicians will always follow the money.
Oh.
And the money at this stage is coming from the government. Right? So we better look after the government, better look after the ALP, because the quantum that they get, all the state government, all the state divisions of the Liberal Party, they're all pretty flush with funds. You know, so they got around about $4 a vote. It's worked well for Pauline. She's got 3 farms.
Well, people don't realise that. So just explain that, right? $4 a vote is a significant amount of money. And a lot of people don't realise if you get over 4%, you've got to get over 4%.
Yeah.
But if you get over, I think in most elections, but if you get over that threshold, you actually get around about, it's not quite $4, but you get around about that.
Order.
Yeah. Per vote. And that's a big plus or a big sort of weighted advantage to the major parties over a smaller independents or people who want to have a go.
Yes.
So another advantage. But you're saying that money isn't going where it should be or isn't incentivising what it should be incentivising.
Well, when you've got a source of money, you no longer need corporate donors. You no longer need members to go out and raise money. You've got a source of money. That's why they've disconnected, because they don't have to. We've got.
So you become a closed shop.
Yeah,
because you
they
don't need
can.
it anymore. You don't need the people.
Because they can.
Right.
That's human nature. You and I would probably do the same.
No.
Well, okay.
Well,
if we weren't equal, I mean, I wouldn't, but I'm making the bloody point that if you need money to get re-elected, and it's coming from over that way, right?
Yeah.
And it normally comes from the other way. You go to where it's coming from, and I remember the reason it was introduced initially was to stop over politicians being influenced by the source of money. And we thought, well, what could go wrong? We'll get the money from the government. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, they've just now, the government must be the good guys. So that
I don't
explains
even
a
think
lot of
taxpayers
behaviour.
know about this. You know, the taxpayers are paying for every single vote. A few bucks is going to the political parties so that they can be funded by government. Of course, when they're funded by government, what do? They make government bigger.
Exactly.
Right.
Here's the other killer. The Labor Party actually determines the quantum. Let's say it's about $4. Let's just say it's $4, right? Now the Labor Party has agreed to that because it wants to have a not very effective opposition, right? So they need funding, okay? And the condition would have been that we'll organise this money for both of us as long as you don't touch our major support source of money, which is the union contributions to the ALP, right? So that's a very important point. And the Labor Party it's $4 now, they could easily say, oh, look, I don't think so. The people don't want to do that. We're just going to only agree to $1 a vote. Then the LNP has got no funding at all and no friends. So that cloud is hanging over their head all the time.
Right.
And that's why that could be an explanation why every policy they adopt is the same as the ALP. So
Right.
there's no single reason. It's a combination of
All
lots
right.
and
So
lots
the
of things.
fix for this is, you say there's no effective penalty upon them when they don't do what the majority of their party members want them to do.
Correct.
So they prefer to do nothing.
Yes.
Which we see a lot, right, from the LNP. We see them just pulling back on stuff, small target. I don't want to engage on these issues. I don't want to do anything. And it's easier to keep my job. It's easier to take a paycheck in opposition. Actually, it might be nice to be in opposition rather than in government for some of them.
Oh, much better.
So to change their behaviour, you've got to bring in the system that you're proposing, which is the members vote. And if the members, then people will join the party. The power will go back to be democratised to the community. The community of members then vote on who they want in those leadership positions.
Yeah, you must have compulsory competitive pre-selections 12 months before every election.
Right.
For your local council, for your state member, for your federal member. And of course, the LNP actually has competitive pre-selections for senators, but it's all by delegates. The delegate system has to go. That's where instead of the members having a direct vote, they appoint or elect delegates who do the voting on their behalf. Very, very easy to distort totally a delegate system. So the other reform is that the delegate system has got to go. The members have to do everything directly.
I don't know what the delegate system is, but I don't want to get into it because it's too much detail. But
it's a means of removing democracy. One vote, one vote does not exist with the delegate system.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Right. It just gives different groups more power.
So you have this huge fighting for delegate positions in the parties to determine who's going to be able to select the senators, for instance.
Yeah, okay, right. So, see, this is the thing, right? I mean, a lot of the democracy, a lot of people don't understand is a lot of our democracy depends on what's already gone on before the election inside the political parties.
Exactly.
And if you can't get into the political parties and play a role,
Rennick
it's not a
would
democratic
agree
system.
with you on that one.
Yeah, it's not a democratic system then, is it?
No,
Right.
no.
All right, we're going to come back in a moment and talk some more about the solutions to this problem. Did you know that with a virtual private network or VPN on your computer, tablet or phone, you can log into your favorite streaming services like Netflix from home with an internet address from anywhere in the world and watch all the shows that they offer in other countries, including stuff in different languages. And using a VPN to route all your internet traffic through a third-party server means that big corporations and big government can't spy on you. If you sign up now with private internet access, we think they're the best VPN servers out there. As a viewer of the other side, you can get 83% off the price of your subscription and get online for less than $3 a month. Check it out right now. Go to piavpn.com/other side. That's piavpn.com/other side. It's a great service, a rock bottom price, and supporting our sponsor, you are helping to keep the other side going and growing. That was a segment clip from our weekly Friday night news show, The Other Side, which you can watch in full by simply going to YouTube and searching up The Other Side Australia. Then you'll find our full shows playlist. You can also find all of our full shows and our segments on our own website, othersidetv.com.au. That's othersidetv.com.au. Help us build a whole new Aussie media by joining us over there and signing up for the exclusive side.